Nick, always lovely to see you. How have you settled into this wonderful camp? What have you been doing to keep yourself occupied?
Yeah, settled in great. Obviously got a good group of characters in the squad, so that's always really helpful. And also these facilities are amazing. Hotels, top drawer, and the gym and the changing rooms and the pitch here has been really high level. So yeah, no.
I've seen Kitman Pat has already put up a West Bromwich Albion flag. Any other flags we're gonna see? Have you told your family to bring anything over?
No, they probably lose it. So obviously, Kitman Pat as always, brings the baggies wherever he goes. So I did see that yesterday for the first time. So no, he's top kit man. So we'll let him off. What
is the difference between this World Cup and what this setup is like, and what it's like for you guys as players compared to 2018 in Russia?
Good question, because I suppose there's kind of a lot of similarities. Where the hotel in Russia was really good, and the pitch and the facilities at the training ground for us were really good, and that's obviously credit to the staff here that kind of put all that together. That we can come in and really hit the ground running and have no complaints with anything really. So I say there's probably more similarities in regards to that. But I suppose with Russia, we're flying to every game, and we're it's 2-3 hours on a flight, and we're getting back to our hotel at kind of 5:30 in the morning and 6 in the morning, and then going to bed. So that'll probably be the biggest difference will be the match days.
How much does that help actually? Because even in the Euros last year, you really only had to fly out to Italy and a trip down to Tottenham.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was St George's Park. Does that mean you can actually settle yourselves in and get a little bit more comfortable?
I think so. I think it's nice to be able to kind of unpack your suitcase and not having to keep putting it back together and making it more messy every time. So I think it's a nice base to have, a nice benefit to have, is to be going back to the same room every night.
There's a bit of a different mood perhaps as well, because not the same kind of expectations on you in 2018. But now you've been to a semi-final of a World Cup, you've been to the final of a European Championship. Does it feel as if this is like a more, right, okay, next step coming here, and there's more intensity and desire because it feels closer?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like confidence gained from kind of them two tournaments, and experience as well, massive for any group of players. But to have the experience of going to a semi-final and going to a final is massive. So a lot of players in the squad have been in them situations and have been there before, and we're looking to obviously increase expectations. But I think we have that of ourselves as well. So yeah, it's a tournament we're highly looking forward to.
I've just poked my head into Eric Dier's press conference, and I just caught him say, "It's a World Cup, I'll play in any position, even if it's goalkeeper." Would he make a decent goalkeeper?
I think he'd be all right, someone obviously an intelligent player, and he'd throw himself about for the cause, I feel. So yeah, I'd actually feel like I wouldn't mind if it was Erik.
So extra competition.
Yeah, that's probably not ideal. No, he's obviously a top player, and I think that shows the mentality of everyone in the squad really, that it is a squad mentality. We're going to need 26 players, and wherever position that is, like you say, it's England at a World Cup, so what could it be? I'll play up front if it needs to be.
Oh, okay. That could be really interesting. Well, we need some height sometimes, so that would be useful. It's interesting you mentioned the subs, because I was talking on air this morning about the importance and the kind of evolution of the game in many ways, now that we're at a 5-sub point. And I know you're a goalkeeper, so it doesn't apply as much, but we've seen previously that penalty specialists have been swapped in later on in games. But in terms of the outfield players and your overall, as a football person, view of it, how do you think the impact of 5 subs is going to change this tournament?
I think it shows that subs can have a massive impact, and obviously there's more on the bench now, and so there's more opportunities for players. So I think it's only a good thing, I think, to kind of incorporate that. Obviously games that will go to extra time, you're going to need legs on the pitch. I think obviously World Cup football as well will be so intense, and there's games over kind of a shorter period with us doing it in this kind of winter break, if you like. So yeah, it's going to be really important how the the extra subs are how they come on the pitch.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it. Aaron Ramsdale was talking yesterday about all the goalkeepers training as if you're number one. I think you and I have spoken on many occasions before about how you help Jordan, and that everybody presumes that Jordan's going to be starting in goal. How do you help him with his preparations?
In any way that he needs, really, I suppose. I think that's important, to have a supportive kind of network of goalkeepers. And like Aaron says, we're training at a really high level. I think since we've come here, we've really hit the ground running, and I think it's important to kind of have that supportive feel. So if it was me playing, or Aaron or Jordan, that you feel you have the support of the other goalkeepers. I think that's always important for kind of their mindset, and that'll very much be the case. I think as a goalkeeper growing up, you realise that you're not going to play every game, so you get used to kind of have, I suppose, why the Goalkeeper Union was formed, I suppose, to kind of have that support. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm sorry, as someone outside the Goalkeepers Union, to ask you this, but we did speak before those last 2 Nations League games, and you got given the nod. How frustrating was that Germany game and that last goal? Oh, and you're looking at me as if to say, Faye, don't ask me this, please. But it must have been so infuriating.
Obviously, I got a few texts after the game and stuff. It was like people had died, man. But it's literally, it's just not like that. For a goalkeeper, things happen, mistakes happen, unfortunately. But that's just a normal part of life. I chose to be a goalkeeper, and that's kind of what happens. You make a mistake and you get punished. So I think it's important. I think it's been good for my career that whenever things like that happen, that you see the bigger picture and you realise that it happens, basically, and you move on, and there's always that next game. So for me, it was important after that to go back to Newcastle and kind of take on that challenge again.
Yeah, speak about Newcastle. Got a little bit of a Newcastle Union going on with England now. 3 of you. How much does that help?
It's great. Obviously, I've a few of the other lads since I've been in the squads, but to have people from your own kind of team as well is really nice to have. And obviously they're both flying at the minute, the boys. So I'm really pleased, when the squad that was announced, that they were in it with me.
Callum Wilson getting selected, I think, delighted many people because of the injury-laden career that he's had. He's a very confident player. I spoke to him a couple of days ago, and he's desperate to get on the pitch. Yeah. Kind of attributes. What could he bring as an impact player to England, or even if he starts?
Yeah, someone that leads the line really well, whether he plays in a 1 up front or a 2. Really intelligent player, strong, quick, really good in the box. As a striker, whether that's kind of one-touch finishes or beating a man and finishing. I think they're all strengths of his, and strengths you've seen this season, I suppose.
Couple of quick injury-type questions for you, and one other Newcastle one as well before we get into the social stuff. But Kyle Walker in training looks comfortable. We were all worried about him. He's so key to England's defence, whether it's playing a 4 or a 3. From your point of view as a goalkeeper, how important do you see his role for England?
Yeah, I think Kyle, one of the players that's been a part of the Euros finals run and going to the final of the World Cup 4 years ago. So someone who brings great experience, and just in general is a top player. So to have him here with us and looking well is only a good thing.
Yeah. James Maddison, you don't need to tell me what's going on precisely. I just want to know from behind the scenes in the camp, is he walking around okay? How's he doing? How's his mood?
Yeah, no, he's in good spirits. Obviously, he wants to be out there training kind of more than anyone. So he'll be with us soon, I'm sure. And he's in good spirits, and obviously wants to have an impact on this World Cup. He's come in really good form, and I've been watching him obviously for a distance, and he's really right at the top of his game. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have him with us.
Newcastle related, very quickly, and honestly the social questions are super quick, so we'll get there, I promise. Eddie Howe's style of management, we've discussed, you and I, before, and what he's brought to your game. What similarities does Eddie's style have to Gareth Southgate's in any way?
Yeah, both good man managers, I'd say. Both have their way of playing, so like I say out here, it's important that the squad kind of knows their roles. I think that's the same for me at club and at England. Is whoever is on the pitch from the start or comes off the bench, they know their roles, and I think that's important to have kind of that clear, concise kind of game plan, or let's say role in the 11. So I think they're two similarities I would say.
And tell me about this little bromance that's going on between you and Bruno Guimarães, because I saw on Instagram the other day the lovely little gift that you bought. Is his son's name, is it pronounced Matteo or Matteo?
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. How well do you get on? How has this kind of new friendship evolved?
Bruno's just someone that when I came to the club was extremely welcoming to me, and he's just great in the dressing room in general, really. But someone who's come to the club, and when I came to the club, really welcomed me into the dressing room. And I suppose from my time at Burnley, when there was a newborn, in the dressing room, if you like, that we'd get a little gift or something for the new dads or the new family. So that's something that I just kind of was used to doing, I suppose. So yeah, it's great to be able to give that to him, before the World Cup, and him and his family.
You're just buttering him up, aren't you, to find out a bit more about Brazil?
I didn't say that. Hopefully, if I pass meet, that'll be later down the line.
Yeah, let's see whether he'll give you some inside information or not.